They told me UC had no cure. All I had to do was be a good little boy, listen to what they said, and sit down and shut up. So for years, I had been following the advice from the doctors, feeling like a guinea pig to their experiments. Try this medication, try that medication. But in August 2023, everything changed. This is when I actually started the carnivore diet. And I remember thinking to myself that this is my last chance to finally heal UC naturally. Because it had been so many years on medication, so many years trying to do this naturally. This felt like the last, ditched attempt. It was like I was a cat and I had 9 lives and I was on the last life and I was just like, this needs to work or else I'm gonna have to be on biologicals, because at the time I was on vendolizumab. So this medication was infused, so I had to keep going to the hospital and getting it infused into my veins and made me feel like absolute garbage every time I sat there. Like, I felt not too bad before it started, and then as it was going into my system, it made me feel more and more shit. Then afterwards, I'd probably need a couple of days off of work because I felt like shit. So obviously work were getting at me saying you're having too much time off, but I couldn't do anything about it because this stuff was making me feel like absolute garbage. So in August, I knew there was going to be no more stress because there was a court date coming up. So as soon as the court date finished, I knew this was the day that I was going to start doing carnivore. I thought, right, I am ready. I had my fridge full, literally full of all these different meats and stuff like that. I thought, right, that's it. I'm going to start this. I'm going to smash it. So stopped all meds, started the carnivore diet, and nearly 23 months later, I'm still in clinical remission. Now, if I carried on listening to the doctors, I would have still been on vendolizumab. I still probably would have ended up having a flare because that's what's been happening over the last, 10 years. I'd take medication, I'd come off the medication, have a flare up, go back on medication, while on the medication, have a flare up. So it's just a repeated cycle that's been endless for years and years. So obviously I was a bit skeptical about this diet and how everyone was getting these results from it. So it kind of gave me the hope and the inspiration to actually do this diet. I thought, yes, I can do it. But there's also that niggling thing in the back of your head, like, is it going to work? Is it not? Is it going to work? Is it not? So obviously before I started, I spoke to my IBD specialist. I said to him, right, I'm going to be starting this diet because they say, before you do anything, talk to your physician or talk to your specialist. So I spoke to them, and if it was up to them, I wouldn't have started. They said, don't start it. It's going to be absolutely pointless. Diet doesn't matter. It's not going to affect it. Why are doctors so fucking ignorant? And why are they so pig-headed that they can't see past the end of the textbook they read? Because it's so frustrating that you go to them about advice about doing other things, and the first thing they do is shit on it without any research or anything looking into it, and not even telling you, oh, this could be a possibility to help reduce your symptoms. They don't even have to say it's a cure. Just the fact of, oh yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Maybe do that for a few weeks. It might be a good thing to give your bowels some rest. But nope, they point blank refuse any single diet plan or anything that's going out there because to them, it's not going to affect it. But I'm here to tell you now, your doctors don't always have you in their best interest. And they're going to tell you lies. And they're going to bullshit you. And they're going to be ignorant because they don't know the truth. But I'm here to tell you the truth. My mission is to show you my truths on what things I have done to help me heal my UC. I'm not here to fabricate things or make things up, because at the end of the day, what's that going to do? Except piss you off even more because you've tried something and once again another diet or another protocol has failed. I know it's like, it's proper debilitating when you spend money on courses or on books, on different foods to try to heal, and none of it works. So trust me, I know what it feels like to be in your situation right now. As I say, I've literally done every medication. So I did like Pentasa, Octasa, Mezeran, Mercaptopurine, Azapriaphine, Humira, Vendolizumab. There is other biologicals which, you know, are out there, but they're all poisons. They're all the same, from the same hymn sheet, basically. They're all stuff that you don't really want to be taking long term because of the side effects, and it destroys your immune system, and you don't want to be on that shit for the rest of your life. So why would I honestly keep you in the endless cycle of taking this medication and not actually getting to where you actually want to be? And that's eating decent foods without reacting, then having no flair so you can actually go out with your family or your friends and actually do stuff and live a normal life. Then there's also going back to work. Most people have got this disease and they're that bad, they're going to the toilet 20, 25 times a day, loads of blood, they feel like absolute garbage, and they can't go out and earn money, so that makes them feel like absolute shit because they're not providing for the family. So as I said, carnivore for me was the last resort. And that's when I realized I had two choices: trust the medical system that had failed me so much before, or trust in this new diet to see if it'd get me in remission. And it wasn't some rash decision that I made instantly. It was over a course of a few months. I researched how to do it. I saw other successful testimonials. I looked more into it. I kind of built myself up to realize that this had to be done properly. So I made sure that I learned as much as possible before I actually started. And one of the first ways I knew this diet was working was because after normally about 6 months of stopping medication, I'd end up with a flare-up. And 6 months after stopping the vendolizumab and going, off the medication and starting the carnivore diet, I had no flare-up. I had no symptoms I had to go back on meds or anything like that. So for me, this was a massive win. I kind of always thought to myself, wow, this is good. And not just that, but before that, I had no symptoms. I felt amazing. So what more can I ask for? But with anything, there's still things that creep in over time and mistakes that you make. So obviously the next few months, I also made mistakes on the carnivore diet and only eating minced beef, salt, water, which then led me to being deficient in certain things, because I just made the mistake of just listening to the first advice I got, which was basically just eat meat, just eat ruminant meat. But this is from people who not necessarily healed ulcerative colitis. It was from people who had autoimmune diseases, and for them, it was perfect. But for me, with severe UC, it kind of left me with not all the information I needed. What foods were great for sealing up gut lining, which foods were great for increasing gut bacteria, which foods were great for overall healing, inflammatory side. And it was just things that I didn't realize, so I got blinded by just eat meat. Now, if you want to know how to do the carnivore diet properly for UC, and don't get me wrong, this is been the massive contributing factor for me getting into remission, but it's not the only thing. There's other things that helped with mentally, the trauma, emotional traumas that had to be gone, emotional triggers, food triggers, then exercise. All these things are in my 90-day protocol in the top link in the description. Now, if you're just sitting there feeling sad, miserable because you're not getting into remission, I do understand it. And these are the sort of things that you need to understand about how you're going to move forward and how you're actually going to heal. The first thing is you need to take control. I've said it in a few of my videos. The first thing you need to do is take control and become the researcher and the scientist in your own life. Don't let the medical system dictate how you're going to live for the rest of your life. Do you want to be this person who actually lives a fantastic life, or one that actually just barely gets by taking the medication, but you still know you can't eat certain foods? You still know that if you go out and there's too much excitement, or you get nervous or anxious, you end up shitting your pants. Now, if you're in a flare right now, then the first thing you need to do is try and go on a 24-hour fast. Now, I have done previous videos about obviously what you need to do if you're in a flare now. The first 24 hours are very crucial. One of the main things we like to do is stress out, which then obviously makes the symptoms worse. So if you can, try and do a 24-hour fast. And after you break the 24-hour fast, this is when you start obviously just only eating meat. And you'll notice that your symptoms reduce like that. Like over a couple of days of you just eating meat, it removes all the irritants, it removes everything that can actually carry on irritating it. They may not have actually triggered it, but they'll definitely carry on with the irritation and making you bleed more or just making you in a crappy place. Now I know what you're thinking, do I need permission? You don't need any permission to start. You can go and speak to your doctor like I did and get their answer and basically put you off ever doing it. Or you can just think to yourself, this is my body, this is my life. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. The choice is yours. Just don't be stupid about it. Don't be like I did and just follow things absolutely blindly. That's why I created the protocol, because it stops all this research. You don't need to go out there and spend hours and days and weeks and months trying to find all the information to get you to heal. And then you don't have to go through the same trial and errors like I did, kept on messing up, getting this, that and other. Like literally making a mistake, getting deficient, right, I need to change this. Then end up having some other symptoms of thinking, right, what I need to do now is look up this, like histamine responses. Then I found out about leaky gut, and then I found out about gut microbiome. It's all in the 90-day program. Now let me know in the comments below if you've been wanting to try something, any sort of diet, but your doctors have put you off it. And that's it for today. I'll see you again soon.